So before knowing that, we have to identify the difference between costing, and cost accounting and cost accountancy. So cost means what? Cost is the amount of expenditure which incurred the produce a product or services. So whatever amount we spent for the purpose of producing the either it may be product or service, so the expenditure is called as a cost. Costing is different. Costing is the process of determining the cost of a product or services. So here in first case, whatever actual expenditure incurred, that we are going to identify, and that identified expenditure we are going to determine. So that is costing. And cost accounting. So cost accounting is a process of recording, classifying, reporting the costing information to the users. So that is called as a cost accounting. Cost accountancy means what? It is a profession and it is a technique that deals with the cost accounting. So this is the brief introduction of various elements of cost. Various elements of cost. Now, what is the scope of study? Cost accounting is used in various industries and including manufacturing companies, construction companies, service related companies. So everywhere we are going to use this cost accounting. So the purpose of cost accounting, if you know the cost, then only you are able to decide the price. So to meet the and also to meet the performance of department wise, labor wise, and segment wise, we are going to use this cost accounting. And also it involves the collection of the cost related data, and that whatever the data we collected, we are going to analyze and reporting the cost of the data to the management. And also this cost accounting help to decision making and preparation of budgeting and performance evaluation. So these all the situations we are going to use. The main purpose of scope of the cost accounting, we are going to use the different areas like industries, manufacturing and construction areas. And also we are going to collect the cost accounting related all the details from the various departments. And after analyzing that all the details, we are going to use for the purpose of decision making. So this is the scope of cost accounting. And what is the objective of cost accounting? So the major, there are so many objectives are there. Among these, I'm going to explain some of the major objectives. So that is, first one is to determine the cost of production. First, to determine the cost of production. Second one is to analyze cost and control. Array. Objectives of cost accounting. So the purpose of the objective of cost accounting, first objective is to determine the cost of production. Second objective is to analyze the cost control. Third objective is to provide the cost information for the decision making. And fourth objective is to evaluate the performance and efficiency. So I will explain one by one. First, to determine the cost of production. The main purpose of determination of cost of production to determine the selling price. So when you know the cost of production, you are able to decide the selling price. So if you don't know the cost of production, you are not able to add that margin and you are not able to decide the selling price also. So if you know the cost of production, then it will help to decide the selling price. So that is the one of the major objectives. Second one is the analyze and control of the cost. See, when you are analyzing the cost, automatically you are able to know where we are able to reduce the cost and where we are wasting, where we are spending the huge amount in the cost. So we can control the cost. So that controlling purpose, various costs we are going to analyze and to provide the cost information for the decision making purpose. So whatever we are analyzing, the purpose of mainly it is decision making only. So if the management want to take the decision or they want to implement anything, Either they want to purchase any plant or machinery, or they want to stop that using of that plant, they want to shut down that. So this all the situations, we are going to provide the cost information for the decision making purpose, and also to evaluate the performance and efficiency. So here, generally this in cost accounting, when you evaluate the performance and efficiency, particularly we are talking about the various departments and labors. So how they are performing. So according to the standard time, they are performing their duties or not. And what is the efficiency? If they're performing according to their standard, if they're performing more than their standard, they will get the some additional benefits. And also we are going to give the ranks based on their performance and efficiency. So the utilization of labor and the utilization of plant and machinery performance also, we are going to use this cost accounting. So this is the situations we are going to use the cost accounting. And importance of the cost accounting. Mainly, this cost accounting will help to cost control and reduction. Already, before I said, and it is provide the accurate cost information for the decision making purpose and enhance the profitability and competitiveness among the competitors, and also facilitate the budget and performance evaluation. So these the very important factors which we are going to use the when we are implementing the cost accounting system. The main purpose of the main important factor of that cost accounting, it is going to help the control of the cost and reduction of the cost. So we can, when we know the cost details, we can reduce that. So where we are able to control, there we are controlling also we are going to do, and provide the accurate cost information for the decision making. So these are the important aspects in the cost accounting. What is the advantages of cost accounting? What is the advantages of cost accounting? So advantages of cost accounting, it helps to reduce of the, it is also reduce the cost and control, and provide the information for the top level management, and also it is help to determine the price of the product or service, and it is also help to classification of various costs. Either it may be based on the nature of the function or nature of the based on the time period, and based on the feature, based on the time period or nature of the product, nature of the services, and element wise. So various different types of we are going to use. And what is the limitations of cost accounting? Cost accounting does not consider the qualitative factors. It can be considered only quantitative factors. So sometimes some of the important information also we may be missed it. And this cost accounting assumes that a stable economy and market conditions. And whatever we recorded, whatever actually happened, we are going to use that only. But past data we cannot be, we are not able to analyze also. And this cost account may not be applicable to the non-manufacturing industries. It can be applicable only manufacturing industries and service related industries only. But it is implementation of this cost accounting for the non-manufacturing industries, it is very difficult. And it is require the accurate and reliable data. So sometimes based on figures, whatever we recorded, whatever we collected, so that only we are going to analyze. Maybe sometimes whatever we recorded, because of that, we are not able to give the accurate and reliable data to the top level management. And relationship with the financial accounting. Here, before talking about the relationship with the financial accounting, we need to know the differences between the financial accounting and cost accounting. Already we know about the financial accounting. Financial accounting means what? The financial accounting deals with the financial transactions. All the transactions we are going to record and classify and summarize, and we are going to interpret. And only in financial accounting, past data only we are going to use. It means only recorded data. With the help of that recorded data, we are going to analyze the financial statement. We are going to prepare the financial statement, and we are going to interpret the results. But cost accounting is not like that. So cost accounting will help to determine the price of the service or product, first thing. But it is only current data, and it is going to estimate the future data only. And recorded data we are not going to use. In financial accounting, we are going to analyze the financial statement. We are going to give the results. But in cost accounting, we are going to ascertain the individual cost, unit price, and service-wise cost. Cost. So both the financial accounting and cost accounting deals with the financial transactions. But whereas cost accounting talks about the cost classification, cost analysis, and cost segregation. But financial accounting talks about the cost related data transaction, and based on the recorded data, we are going to prepare the financial statement, and with the help of that bookkeeping, we are going to prepare the financial accounting. But here cost accounting is not like that. So running matter, running information only we are going to take. Financial accounting focuses on the overall financial performance of the organization. But cost accounting is not like that. Only department-wise, the particular segment-wise, we are going to talk. So that is the information, that is the differences between cost accounting and financial accounting. So cost accounting also focus on the cost of the production and providing the cost information for the decision making. But here we are going to talk only the financial performance and financial statement analysis. So these are the various differences between the cost accounting and financial accounting. Yeah. Relationship with financial accounting and relationship with the management accounting. So simply, previously we talking about the differences between cost accounting versus financial accounting. Now I'll explain the differences between management accounting versus cost accounting. In cost accounting, we are going to classify the cost related information and we are going to analyze the cost related information. So individual cost wise and unit wise and segment product wise, service wise, the cost allocation we are going to do. But in management accounting, it is going to focus on the overall performance of the organization. Both cost accounting and management accounting provide the information for the decision making purpose only. But cost accounting provides detailed cost information for the decision making compared with the management accounting. So next one is the elements of cost. So essentials of the good cost accounting system. So what is the essentials of the good cost accounting system? So good cost accounting system required accurate and reliable data and clear and concise reporting, timely and regular reporting, and flexibility and adaptability, and compliance with the laws and regulation. So good cost accounting system compulsory these all the factors they need to maintain. So these are the essentials of these elements are very essential for the good cost accounting system. First one is the accurate and reliability data. It means what? When whatever the data you recorded in cost accounting, if it is accurate, then only good result, good analysis we are going to done. But when it is not accurate, when it is not reliable data, so if you analyze also, you will not get the good results. And clear and concise reporting. So whatever the data we analyze, we are going to give the clear and consistent reporting to the management. And timely and regular reporting. So this, whatever the data we are recording, time to time we have to report and we have to record regular basis also. One systematic manner we have to record. Like so for every weekly cost sheet or weekly or monthly or quarterly or half yearly, like that regular reporting also we require. And whatever this we recorded, that should be flexibility and adaptability for the by the organizations. And compliance with the laws and regulations. We must and should be follow the law and regulations in the implementation of this cost accounting system. Installation of cost accounting system. So installation of cost accounting system, identify the objectives and scope of the system, and design and implementation of the system, and train the personnel and provide the ongoing support and monitoring the evaluate system. Identify objective and scope of the system means what? See, cost accounting system, before implementation, first we need to identify where it is required and what is the objective to establishment of that system. What is the scope of the system? So before implementation, we have to analyze, we have to decide that. And after that, design and implementation system. So which system is suitable for that particular area, accounting system? So that we are going to design, and after designing that, we have to implement that. And after installation of that accounting system, that we need to give the training for those who are going to operate. So for them, we are going to train the personally and provide ongoing services support to them and monitor and evaluate the system. So every time, frequently we have to observe it, we have to check it, we have to evaluate after installation, how it is working, what is the performance, how it is impacting, that we have to check it. So this is the first chapter. So this is the story about the introduction of cost accounting system. In this cost accounting system, we discussed about what is the meaning of cost, what is the meaning of costing, what is the meaning of cost accounting, and what is the meaning of cost accountancy, and advantages of cost accounting system, and limitations of cost accounting system, and cost of good essential steps to involve in the installment of good cost accounting system, and elements of essential good cost accounting system. So what is the difference between cost accounting and financial accounting, and what is the cost accounting and management accounting, and these all are we discussed. I'm going to conclude the chapter 1. The cost accounting is the process of recording, classifying, reporting the cost information, and also it provides the accurate cost information for the decision making. It helps to cost control and reduction and enhance the profitability and competitiveness of this system. So this is the story about the cost accounting. And second chapter is cost concept classification. What is the meaning of cost concept classification and how it is going to influence and impacted in the cost accounting system. This introduction about the cost concept. See, cost is different. There are three concepts are there: cost, cost unit, and cost center. Cost means what? Cost means, already in chapter 1, I discussed about it. The amount of expenditure incurred to produce a product or service. So cost means what? The amount of expenditure which incurred to produce a product or service. So that is called as a cost. Cost unit means what? The unit of product or service to which costs are assigned. So the unit of product or service which costs are assigned, so that is called as a cost unit. So cost means what? We identify the expenditure for the purpose of producing product or service. Cost unit means what? The unit of product or services which costs are assigned. So where the cost, whatever the cost expenditure incurred, where we are assigning, to whom we are assigning, whether we are assigning to the product or services, so that we are going to, that is called as a cost unit. Cost center means what? Cost center, the department or location to which costs are assigned. So that is called as a cost center. So here, if you observe these three concepts, there is a sequence. First, we identify the expenditure. Then we are assigning to the product and services. The product and services located at the particular department. So that is called as a cost center. Next one. Cost unit, cost center. Already I explained this one. Next one. Profit center and responsibility center. What is the meaning of profit center and what is the meaning of responsible centers? Profit center means what? A department or location that is there responsible for the generate for the profit. So that is called as a profit center. Responsible center means what? a department located that responsible for the controlling of cost. Here, profit center can generate the profits and it is responsible for the profit. But whereas responsible center, they are responsible of controlling of cost. So this is the two concepts are different. Profit center is different, responsible center is different. Profit center talks about the profit generating only. Responsible center talks about the controlling of cost. But both are department and locations that their responsibilities are different. Classification of cost identification. Generally, cost classification, there are so many various classifications are there. Based on the identification is different, based on the behavioral is different, based on the classification of time, based on the function is different, and controllability is different. Let us, I will explain that based on the identification. Based on the identification, the cost we classified into two categories, that is direct cost and indirect cost. What is the meaning of direct cost? So direct cost means the cost which is traceable and identified directly with a product or service. That is called as a direct cost. And also, whatever the cost we identified at the time of production or service, when we traced in the service or product, so that called in the product, in the process of producing or providing service or production, that is called as a direct cost. Indirect cost means what? The cost that cannot be directly identified with the product or service. This is the additionally incurred. This is the additionally incurred and additionally identified with the direct cost. So that is called as a direct cost and indirect cost. So based on identification, the cost we classified into direct cost and indirect cost. Next, based on behavior, the classification of cost we divided into three categories. First one is the fixed cost. Second one is the variable cost. Third one is the semi-variable cost. First one, fixed cost. Fixed cost means what? The cost is fixed at the time of over a period of time, or at the time of change of output or change of level of any output changes. So here the cost is constant. So cost that remains same over a period of time, that is called as a fixed cost. If you increase the number of units, the cost will not be changed. If you reduce the number of units, the cost will not be changed. So whatever the cost, when there is no production also, the cost is constant. So that is called as a fixed cost. Variable cost means what? The cost vary with the level of production. So this cost can be changed when you change the level of production, when the change of level of output. So for example, if the cost is 5 rupees per unit, if you produce 2 units, it becomes 10 rupees. If you produce 3 units, it becomes 15 rupees. So n number of changes is there. N number of units change, the variable cost will be changed. But cost per unit is always constant. Here, variable cost, total cost will be changed, but cost per unit in variable cost is same. Semi-variable cost. Semi-variable cost means what? The cost that partly fixed or partly variable. So it includes both fixed cost and partially fixed cost and partially variable cost. So that is the reason it is called as a semi-variable cost. By the classification of time, the time based on the time, the cost we classified into three categories: historical cost, current cost, future cost. Historical cost means what? The cost that have been incurred in the past. Already whatever the cost incurred in the past, so that is called as a historical cost. And current cost means what? Current cost that are began incurred with the currently. So costs are incurred at the time of production, present. Present, whatever the cost incurred, that is called as a current cost. Future cost means what? The cost will be incurred in the future. That is future cost. So this is the based on time period, we classified into three categories, that is historical cost, current cost, and future cost. And classification by the function. See, by the function, the cost we classified into mainly three categories: production cost, administrative cost, selling and distribution cost. Production cost is nothing but the cost incurred during the production process. So whatever the cost incurred during the production time, so that is called as a production cost. Administrative cost, the cost incurred for the purpose of administration of the organization. So whatever cost incurred to maintenance of the office and administration purpose, so that is called as a administration cost. And selling and distribution cost. Selling and distribution cost, the cost incurred in selling and distribution products and services. Cost incurred selling and distribution purpose. See, in production, we are going to produce the products here. And in administration, we are arrange the to selling of the product. So after arranging that, so to send the product to the customers, to send the product, manufactured product to the distribution warehouses, whatever the cost incurred, that is called as the selling and distribution expenses. Examples: advertisement expenses, sales commissions, sales commission amount paid to the sales agents. So, and transportation expenses. These are the examples of selling and distribution examples. Classification by the controllability. So classification by the controllability, the cost can be controlled by the management. Generally, controllability means what? The cost, whatever where the management able to control and manage. So that is called as a controllability. And classification of based on the elements. So based on the elements, cost we can classify it into three categories. First one is the material cost. Second one is the labor cost. Third one is the overhead cost. Again, this material cost we classify into direct expenses, direct material cost and indirect material cost. Again, this labor cost also we classified into direct labor cost and indirect labor cost. And again, overheads also we classified into indirect overheads is not the indirect overheads all costs. The aggregate of all indirect costs is called as a overheads. So here, whatever the direct material cost is there, whatever the direct labor cost is there, that aggregate of all direct cost is called as a prime cost, and aggregate of all indirect cost we called as a overheads. So this is the classification by the elements. Next one is the elements of cost and cost preparation of the cost sheet. What is the elements of cost? The elements of cost refers to the various components make up in the total cost of product or services. So generally elements of cost. So whatever we previously discussed, that we have three elements, that is material, labor and other expenses. Material again we classified into two types, direct material and indirect material. Labor also we classified into direct labor and indirect labor. Other expenses also direct expenses and indirect expenses. So these are the elements of cost. So what is the direct material cost, direct labor cost, direct expenses cost? Already we discussed about the direct cost. Direct cost means what? Whatever the cost incurred in the production or services, whatever we identify in production directly, whatever the cost we traced in production area or service area, so that is called as a direct cost. So indirect means what? Which costs are not identified in the production, that all the cost is called as a indirect expenses. The components of the total cost. This total cost and also we call as a cost sheet. And the total cost we classified into three categories, that is material cost, labor cost, overhead cost. That overhead again we classified into factory overheads, administration overhead, selling and distribution overheads. So these are the components of the total cost. So material cost, cost of raw material and components we are going to take. Only direct cost we are going to take. Labor cost, cost of wages and salaries we are going to take. The total direct cost of material, direct cost of labor is called as a prime cost. After calculation of prime cost, we are going to add the overheads. That is nothing but a first we are going to add the factory related overhead, factory related expenses. So that is called as a factory overheads. So when you add the factory overheads, you will get the works cost. After getting the works cost, you are going to add as a administration overheads. You will get the cost of production. After cost of production, you add the selling and distribution overheads. You'll get the total cost of production. So that total cost of production, you can add the certain margin, you will get the sales. So these are the different components of the total cost. Cost sheet. So cost sheet means what? Cost sheet is a document. It provides the detailed information about the cost of production. So cost of production means what? Whatever the cost classification is there based on element wise, that all the details we are going to record in the cost sheet. And also it includes various elements of cost such as a material, labor, overheads of the cost. Simply, this is the example of the cost sheet, elements of the cost, amount, and first material I taken, labor cost I taken, next overhead I taken. This overhead is again we need to classify sub classification, that is factory overheads, administration overheads, selling and distribution overheads. Then you will get the total cost. So this is the elements of cost. Next, estimation of the overheads. So estimation of the overheads can be estimated using the various methods such as absorption method and marginal costing method and activity based costing. So these are the we are going to discuss in future. Some separate topics are there. I will explain in that case. And balance of material, work in progress, or finished goods. Material balance. Generally, material balance, we have opening stock, and when you add the purchases, when you whatever amount, whatever the material you consumed, you will get the closing balance. To calculation of closing stock, we are going to use this formula: opening stock plus purchase of material, and whatever you consumed, that you can deduct that, you will get the material balance. And work in progress balance, opening stock of the work in progress balance, and production plus production minus completion work, remaining is the closing stock. And to calculation of finished goods of balance, opening stock plus production minus sales is equal to closing stock. So this is the balance of material and work in progress and finished goods. Cost with the grouping expenses. See, already I explained before the cost sheet. So direct cost means what? Direct material and direct labor. So that is called as a direct cost. It is also called as a prime cost. And indirect cost. Indirect cost means what? Aggregate of all the overheads is called as the indirect cost. This overhead cost includes that factory overheads, office overheads, and administration overheads, and selling and distribution overheads. So that is the indirect cost. So direct cost plus indirect cost is nothing but a total cost. So tenders and quotations. What is the meaning of tenders and quotations? So tender is a formal offer to supply goods or service at specific price. So tender means what? It is a formal offer to supply goods or service a specific price. So this is called as a tender. Quotation means what? It is an informal offer to supply goods or services at a specific price. Tender means those who require, they are going to call. Quotation means what? Those who ready to supply, they will give the quotation. Production account. So production account means what? Production account is different. Cost sheet is different. In cost sheet, we recorded all the cost of elements. But production account is a document that provides the detailed information about the production process. And also it is include the information about the material used, labor employed, and overhead cost incurred. So this is the production account. So this is the story about the elements of cost. So these elements of cost are essential to determining the cost of production and pricing of the product. A cost sheet provides the detailed information of the cost of production. Overhead can be estimated using the various methods such as absorption method, absorption costing and activity basing method. So this is the theoretical information about the black one, that is cost of elements. That is the block one, 3 chapters. That is introduction to the cost accounting and cost concept classification and elements of classification. So this is the black one information. You can go through that. Thank you.